Now it's time to recognize winners of awards that are not limited to those in the citation class. These are awards that are open to scholar citation earners in their junior and senior years. We want to acknowledge them here because the award winners' achievements are significant and the generosity of those funding the awards is considerable. We also want the citation class of 2020 to be aware of Scholars Award opportunities that will be available to them going forward. The first award is the Megan Price Scholarship for Leadership and Public Service, which honors the legacy and promise of Scholars Public Leadership alumna Megan Price with an annual award for junior or senior students dedicated to leadership and service. Megan was a remarkable young woman who was in one of the first PL cohorts and was elected president of the Student Government Association in her senior year. She was only 20 years old when she died in a car accident, but she left a mark, a proud record that still inspires us in Scholars. This past summer, we selected two Megan Price Award winners for 2020, Calvin Burns and Chisholm Ojukwu. Calvin is an environment, technology, and economy alum and a senior majoring in civil engineering and minoring in sustainability studies. A commitment to sustainability is the through line in Calvin's leadership and service activities, both within Scholars and beyond it. Calvin's practicum project aimed to design a way for students to hang hammocks without damaging trees. Thanks to his persistence and skill in navigating bureaucracy, Calvin's idea has become a reality in the Cambridge community. Hammock Haven is an installation of 10 metal posts in a radial semicircular pattern in front of Chester Town Hall that offers a space for relaxing and socializing in nature without harming it. Calvin has taken on leadership roles since his freshman year, when he served as Vice President of Sustainability for his local Residence Hall Association. Since then, he has served as RHA Senator at Large, Chair of RHA's Sustainability Committee, and a member and Vice Chair of the Sustainability Fund Review Board. This year, he is serving as an engineering representative to the University Senate. He has been a resident assistant since sophomore year. Tim Knight describes Calvin's work as an RA in Chestertown as groundbreaking, thanks to his skills as a leader and a mentor. Chisholm Ojukwu is an international studies alum and a senior majoring in public health science. A passion for peer health education has been the driving force of her extensive leadership and service activities on campus. She was an IS peer mentor her sophomore year and has developed into a strong advocate for campus-wide sexual assault legislation and policy. She has served as outreach chair of Preventing Sexual Assault, a student group that organizes Occupy McKeldin, an annual rally aimed at raising awareness of the prevalence of sexual violence on campus. She has also served as deputy director of the Student Government Association's Sexual Misconduct Prevention Committee, where she helped lead development of a resource guide for students recovering from abuse. She is also a mental health peer educator at the University Health Center and a member of the UHC Student Advisory Board. Sarah Wilson, coordinator of UHC's Stress and Mental Wellness Program, describes Chisholm as a tremendous student, both academically and professionally, and a gifted presenter with unwavering leadership in health equity. These two remarkable students powerfully advance Megan's legacy of leadership and service. Congratulations to Calvin and Chisholm. Our next award, the Martha and Ira Berlin Legacy Fund Scholarship, was established 6 years ago to honor the 20th anniversary of Scholars and to support the work of students who have contributed to the community of Scholars. Demonstrated a commitment to learning from diversity and developed a well-defined and innovative scholarly or creative project. The Berlin's generosity has helped students to dream big as they design projects and seek opportunities outside the classroom. I'll have more to say about Ira Berlin in a moment, but for now, I would like to recognize Ira's wife, Martha, and I think his daughter, Lisa. She was planning to come. I hope she was able to join us this evening. Martha, it's wonderful to see you in the virtual sense. This past summer, we awarded Berlin scholarships to Yael Hamburger and Rohan Laljani. Yael is a global public health alum and a senior majoring in family science and minoring in health, humanities, and medicine, and Spanish language, culture, and professional contexts. For her practicum, Yael volunteered in a pediatric unit in a hospital, which inspired her to begin creating an interactive workbook for hospitalized children and their families to help them keep track of events, needs, and feelings. Such a tool can empower young patients and their families to feel some control over their health and healing by reminding them of their progress and resilience during a difficult time. The Berlin Legacy Fund Scholarship will support Yael's continued development of her workbook project, which builds impressively on the learning she began in GPH. Rohan Laljani is a Science, Technology, and Society alum and a senior double majoring in bioengineering and history. He has a keen scholarly interest in computational research, honed in the Johnson Lab at UMD, where he used machine learning methods to study prokaryotic antiviral defense systems. This year, Rohan is working on a departmental honors thesis in history that will examine 50 years of published research in oncology to shed light on how biomedical vocabulary surrounding cancer have changed over time. The Berlin Legacy Fund Scholarship will support his research on his thesis project, which has strong ties to STS principles and methods. Scholars is proud to support these two extraordinary projects. Congratulations to Yael and Rohan. Now we move on to sort of part two of our celebration, and that is the presentation of our Founders Circle Awards. These are awards named for the brilliant group of practical visionaries who imagined and built College Park Scholars in the early 1990s, and key administrators whose skill and dedication helped it thrive at critical junctures in its development. The awards honor the accomplishments of students who exemplify core values and ideals of scholars, but they also honor the generosity and leadership of the faculty and our faculty and administrators who helped to establish them. It's a pleasure to express our deep appreciation to them. I will begin with a second award associated with someone whose legacy looms large in scholars and across this campus, Professor Ira Berlin. In the early 1990s, under Professor Berlin's leadership as then Dean for Undergraduate Studies, the idea of a unique living learning program was born. Without his forethought, creativity, and ability to identify resources at a time when resources were scarce, College Park Scholars would not be here today. He was a distinguished university professor whose exceptional scholarly contributions have received countless awards, including the W.E.B. Du Bois Medal for 2014 from Harvard University's Hutchins Center for African and African American Research. Professor Berlin passed away in June of 2018, but his memory and his support for our mission inspire us every day. The Ira Berlin Writing Award acknowledges those scholars who have demonstrated excellence in writing. Student submissions may represent technical or creative writing. A panel of faculty and staff have reviewed this year's submissions and selected Ruth Murdoch of Environment, Technology, and Economy. Ruth is a mechanical engineering student who is minoring in sustainability studies. The essay she submitted for this award is called Systems Thinking, Learning to Model Nature. Ruth's brief essay demonstrates an unusually effective skill, fundamentally important for a writer in scholars. She crafts a thoughtful reflection essay that addresses its several audiences convincingly. Reflection papers require their authors to pay attention to their own learning, to an instructor, and in this case, anyway, to a broader group of readers. In this example, Ruth connects several kinds of ETE experiences, integrating them with the connective thread of systems thinking. The essay does what we want to help all scholars accomplish, synthesizing thinking that brings together learning in the curriculum, in the co-curricular programs, and in the bigger world. Ruth's reflection on her growth as a student and as a writer argues for a kind of holistic thinking about big problems. In her application essay, Ruth points out that writing is learning and it is an act. Her short paper is an outstanding example of both. Congratulations, Ruth. Our next award, again, connects in part to Dean Ira Berlin. When he needed a collaborator to launch the 4 initial scholars programs, he turned to Dr. Nancy Shapiro, who is pictured here with her husband, and I believe is in the audience this evening. Hello out there, Nancy. Glad to have you with us. When Scholars was being set up, Nancy was teaching in the English department, my own home department, and I returned to her to serve as the first executive director of College Park Scholars. Now, I understand that he did so by telling her that it would be the best job that she would ever have. And I can tell you from personal experience that that line has been passed down from executive director to executive director all the way into the present. We all insist it is the best job that you can ever have on this campus and possibly anywhere. In any case, after Scholars, Nancy moved on to become an associate vice chancellor with the University System of Maryland. The Nancy and Ira Shapiro Excellence in Undergraduate Research Award honors a scholar who demonstrates excellence in undergraduate research. The project must demonstrate active collaboration between the student and a faculty member and fulfill the mission of undergraduate research, which is to encourage students to dig into primary sources and unearth interesting questions for further examination. The 2020 recipient of the Nancy and Ira Shapiro Excellence in Undergraduate Research Award is Ami Thaivalappil of Global Public Health. Ami is a biological sciences major who is minoring in international development and conflict management. The project she submitted for consideration connects the therapeutic relationship between Ayurvedic medicines and multi-drug resistance in cancer patients. The selection committee was impressed with how effectively the project situates itself at the intersection of the cultural and the biological, chemical, scientific. Her application essay also does an excellent job of addressing and making meaning of those GPH connections across disciplines. Congratulations, Ami. Next, when Dr. Shapiro left Scholars for her position with the University System of Maryland, Dr. Catherine McAdams, who was then serving as an associate professor in the Philip Merrill College of Journalism, assumed the challenge of leading the still young program. She brought to the work a big heart, a gregarious spirit, and a fierce commitment to undergraduate students. This next award carries Dr. McAdams' name and honors a Scholars woman who has proven to be an effective leader during her freshman and sophomore years. I want to acknowledge that Kathy's husband, Tim, is with us tonight. And very sadly, I also want to acknowledge that Kathy passed away quite recently on September 29th. Tim, we are so very glad that you're with us today. Kathy loved Scholars, and Scholars loved Kathy. We miss her, but we are proud and honored to know that part of her legacy will always live on here in Scholars. Sorry, drink of water. The Catherine McAdams Leadership Award recognizes leadership that is broadly defined, ranging from concerned student to campus governance officer. The 2020 recipient of the award is MeiJade Sue of Business, Society, and the Economy. In a pool of 16 very strong applicants, MeiJade stood out for her exceptional commitments and many contributions to BSE and to Scholars. MeiJade, a finance major, has been all in for Scholars and BSE from her first days on campus. She was a dedicated member of the Student Advisory Board and took what she learned there to help design a new advisory board for BSE. She is an energetic yet caring leader, determined to make a positive impact on her community, whether it's raising funds for survivors of Super Typhoon Haiyan at the age of 13, or using her skills in data analysis to help BSE assess and improve the effectiveness of course offerings, class materials, and field trips. Her reflections on how her experiences in Scholars helped to develop her leadership capacities and clarify her professional goals show that she has truly taken to heart Scholars' values of leadership, community, and care, and will continue to live those values and make us proud for years to come. Congratulations, MeiJade. Now, when the university was putting the pieces of College Park Scholars together, A certain amount of expertise and ingenuity were needed to fit those pieces into a student's curriculum. Those qualities came to the table in the person of Beth Pattison, pictured here with her husband, John, who also sadly passed away in March. It has been a year of loss in College Park Scholars, and I want to honor that and acknowledge it, but to say again how happy we are that Beth is here with us today. Though Beth's skills in analyzing detail were necessary for scholars to become what it is today, it was her love of creativity and encouraging creativity in others that really left its mark on the office. Beth retired from College Park Scholars a few years ago, but she remains active in the Founders Circle, and her and John's love for creativity is preserved in the Beth and John Pattison Award for Creativity. It honors a scholar who has exhibited exceptional creativity and innovation in the arts, architecture, landscape architecture, science, research, or service that has had a positive impact on the community. The 2020 recipient of the Beth and John Pattison Award for Creativity is Emily Lolli, an arts alum and community health major. Emily's personal definition of creativity as a force, a living, breathing creature that fuels passion and meaning, anchored her vision for her arts capstone project, empowering women through community participation. Emily's project centered on women's mental health and incorporated multiple forms of art, including papermaking, journaling, website design, and leather bookbinding. The end products were beautiful handmade journals and an engaging online forum, cathartic spaces that invited women within and outside the scholars community to record their responses to intentionally curated writing prompts and connect with other women. In addition to utilizing a diverse range of artistic methods, Emily's work was also grounded in literature. Prior to beginning her project, she completed a lit review that explored topics including women's empowerment and agency, journaling, and blogging. The responses of her participants clearly demonstrate the positive impact of her work on the community and the notion of creativity as an embodied and dynamic force. This level of preparation made her project stand out from other award applicants. Emily Lolli exemplifies the innovation, creativity, and community impact that this award celebrates. Congratulations, Emily. One final Founders Circle Award remains. A number of years ago, under the leadership of my predecessor in the executive director's office, Greg Stewart, who led scholars with deep care and administrative skill for 11 years, the scholars faculty sought to translate our values into admissions criteria for scholars. Three key themes emerged: academic excellence, involvement in one's community, and appreciation for the contributions of diversity to one's learning. To honor the extensive work of our faculty and staff, and to assure that these values continue to be represented in future scholars classes, the TriStar Award was established. The College Park Scholars TriStar Award honors a scholar who has exemplified academic excellence, has contributed to his or her community in meaningful ways, and has demonstrated how he or she values the contributions of diversity to his or her learning. The 2020 recipient of the TriStar Award is Sarah Flores of Arts. Sarah is a computer science major who chose the arts program so she could pursue her passions for both problem solving and creativity. First and foremost, the TriStar Selection Committee felt that Sarah's ability to reflect, integrate, and make meaning set her apart from other candidates for the award. Second, and also important, was the range and depth of Sarah's involvement in scholars. She was arts rep to the Student Advisory Board, president of the Arts Student Advisory Board, and member of the Executive Board of Scholars Promoting and Revitalizing Care. Third, her ability to integrate her experiences, her learning in scholars to her major and other courses, her diversity in learning, community in learning is also very impressive. Sarah writes movingly of being a first-generation Latinx student who experienced imposter syndrome when she first came to the university and felt moved to, as a result, to support other students and ensure that everyone's voices were heard. My goal, she writes, is to constantly inspire others to have a voice in their community, to encourage them to become leaders and know that there will always be someone there to support them. Sarah, Your impressive record of involvement and achievement proves that you have taken scholars' values to heart. By putting those values into practice, you have nurtured the scholars and campus communities. For that reason, you are an ideal candidate for the Tri-State Award, or I'm sorry, the Tri-Star Award. Congratulations, and thank you so much. Congratulations to all of our Founders Award winners. You have done well, and you have done good in serving our community so wonderfully. As we close our ceremony, I want to say a special thank you to the faculty, instructors, and teaching assistants and graduate assistants of each scholars program. Hats off to you. Your hard work and dedication never cease to amaze me. This is another opportunity for the students to say nice things about people in the chat if you'd like to. You challenge your students to stretch themselves, and you equip them to meet any challenge. You sacrifice evenings, weekends, and even weeks at a time to lead trips all over the area and around the world to expand your students' horizons and deepen their global competencies. You reach out to students in times of trouble and applaud louder than anybody else in times of triumph. You drive the bands to the service sites, and when crisis strikes, you figure out how to operate a hands-on program in a no-touch world. On behalf of the university and scholars, I thank you for all you do for our students. I'd also like to send out another word of thanks to our partners across campus. We truly appreciate your support and collaboration. Finally, today's event could not have occurred without the dedication and hard work of Jeannie Cadet. Jeannie did an exceptional job of administering the award process and redesigning this ceremony for the virtual environment, which was not an easy thing to do. We've had to reimagine everything in College Park Scholars in the last few months, but figuring out how to do an awards ceremony on this scale was really something. So thank you very much, Jeannie, for what I know was an incredible large scale effort. I also want to thank and acknowledge Scholars Assistant Director for Communications, Mayu Machina, for helping to produce the video and also event announcements. It's a true team effort here in Scholars, and it's very, very much appreciated. As I close, though, I want to say to the award recipients, I hope that all the doors that open to you as in Scholars lead to exciting and challenging intellectual paths in your junior and senior years and in your future professional lives. You are now what we in the Scholars Central Office refer to as junior alumni. We hope that you'll actively seek opportunities to stay connected with the program in your remaining time on campus. You might, for example, become a Scholars Ambassador or tutor with Lakeland Stars, or join the Scholars Alumni Network. As alumni, we ask that you go forth and spread the Scholars message by exercising your intellect, living your values, and engaging in good, meaningful work. And as a scholar for life, never stop learning, never stop caring, never stop believing that you can change the world for the better. As Congressman John Lewis has so movingly put it, be headlights, not taillights. Scholars students are really good headlights. That's one of the reasons I love them so much. My friends, the College Park Scholars Annual Citation Award ceremony is now adjourned. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a good evening.